There is a kind of man whose peace cannot be stolen, a man whose power isn't in his volume, but in his restraint. His calmness is not weakness, it is warning. He does not flinch at criticism, he does not bark back at the ignorant, because he knows who he is. And when a man knows who he is, no one else gets to decide how he feels. This is emotional mastery. It is the invisible crown worn by the rare few who lead, not with noise, but with presence. You've seen these men before. The ones who do not chase validation, who are not pulled by offense, who remain still in the storm. That stillness is not passive, it is purposeful. It is not silence out of fear, it is silence out of clarity. Every day, you are offered invitations. Invitations to be offended, provoked, distracted. And with each one you accept, you lower your energy. You hand your emotional power to someone who did not earn it. But you are not required to attend every conflict you're invited to. You see, anyone can yell, anyone can react, but only the disciplined man, only the one who has trained his mind like a soldier, can stand in fire and remain cool. That man wins, not because he's louder, but because he's stronger. You want to rise in this life? Then master this truth. Your reaction is always your responsibility. You cannot control what people say. You cannot control the world's chaos. But you can always control what you give your energy to. And in that control, you become untouchable. Understand this. Anger is a thief. It disguises itself as power, but it robs you of presence. Every outburst is a leak in your potential. Every grudge is a chain around your future. And if you don't break those chains, you will never build anything of substance, because no man builds a legacy while burning from the inside out. This is why the most dangerous man in the room is the one who stays quiet when insulted, because his power is rooted, not reactive. He doesn't respond to the bark of small minds. He stays focused on the summit, because that is what real leaders do. They build while others bark. So how do you become that man? You begin in the stillness, not once, but daily. You carve out solitude, not to hide, but to strengthen. You retreat, not to avoid, but to prepare. You train your mind in silence, so that when chaos comes, you do not fall apart. You stand. When your morning begins, you don't check your phone. You check your mind. You align it. You ask, who do I want to be today? What energy will I carry? What will I ignore so I can protect what matters? Because make no mistake, peace is not passive. It is an aggressive discipline. You don't find it. You build it. And that peace, it becomes your shield. Because when they mock you, you smile. When they misunderstand you, you stay focused. When they lie, you don't scramble to defend. You let your results do the speaking. Because when you live in alignment with your purpose, you no longer need to explain yourself. You were not born to chase opinions. You were born to own outcomes. And here's a truth that most will never understand. The people who throw insults are often drowning in their own wounds. Hurt people hurt people. Bitter people bleed on those who didn't cut them. You don't need to absorb their energy. You need to rise above it. That is power. When they throw dirt, you plant in it. When they push, you stand firm. When they try to drag you into a fight, you remember this. Not every battlefield is worthy of your presence. Choose your battles like you choose your friends, wisely and with vision. Because the man who fights every insult dies tired. But the man who builds in silence, he lives free. So practice restraint, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to delay your reaction. Because in that pause, in that breath, in that sacred moment where anger could rise, you choose something higher. You choose dignity. You choose clarity. You choose growth. And while the world spins in noise, you move in purpose. Because you are not here to impress, you are here to impact. When the critics come, and they will, let them talk. Their words cannot stop a man whose mind is anchored. Their noise cannot break a man whose soul is focused. Your character will outlive every rumor. Your legacy will silence every insult. And your consistency will drown out every doubter. So stay the course. Forgive without forgetting your worth. Lead without needing applause. Respond without being reactive. Because the man who can lead his emotions can lead anything. And when you fall, and you will, don't spiral, don't retreat, recalibrate, reground. Remind yourself of this. You don't need to react to everything. You don't need to answer every critic. You don't need to carry what was never yours to hold. You were built for more than retaliation. You were built for impact. So act like it. Walk with grace. Speak with power. Think with clarity. Forgive quickly, but never stop growing stronger. Protect your peace like it's gold, because it is. Your peace is not passive. It is a shield, a fortress, a throne you sit upon when the world loses its mind. Because when your peace is intact, your thoughts are clear, your moves are calculated. You are not tossed by every wave of emotion. You ride above it. And from that high place, you lead. Not just others, but yourself. Make no mistake. In a noisy world, peace is rebellion. It is rebellion against the chaos that begs for your reaction. Rebellion against mediocrity that pleads for your attention. It is the quiet power of a man who refuses to dance to anyone else's tune. And that peace, it must be guarded daily. You don't guard it with fists. You guard it with decisions. Decisions about what you tolerate, what you absorb, who you let into your energy field. Because not everyone deserves a front row seat to your journey. Not everyone has earned access to your mind. You must become selective with your time, precise with your focus, and unapologetic about your mission. Because here's the truth. Peace and purpose walk hand in hand. The more aligned you are with your mission, the less you'll be shaken by meaningless noise. That's why petty people can't distract a man of vision. He's too busy building, too locked in to care. And let me tell you something few ever learn. Peace is not the absence of pressure. It's the ability to stay unmoved in spite of it. It's the eye of the storm, still, powerful, untouched. You want to build something great? Then protect your mind like a vault. Starve it of distractions. Feed it truth. Filter every thought through the question. Does this serve the man I'm becoming? If the answer is no, cut it. No hesitation, no guilt. That is how the greats think, with strategy, with principle. They do not give energy to what they cannot control. They do not water weeds. They do not attend emotional circus shows. You will meet people who live in drama, who breathe conflict, who manufacture chaos just to feel alive. Let them go. You were not designed to survive in disorder. You were made to create order from it. That's why the most powerful move is often no move at all. Just stillness. Not because you are frozen, but because you are composed. And in that composure, you become magnetic. People don't follow chaos. They follow calm. Because calm carries certainty. And certainty is leadership. Every time you choose peace over panic, clarity over confusion, purpose over pride, you rise. Not in noise, but in stature. And soon, without needing to say a word, the world begins to feel your presence. This is what Napoleon Hill meant when he spoke of a definiteness of purpose. That unwavering mind, that clear goal, that anchored spirit. These are the traits of men who become immovable forces. Not through aggression, but through alignment. And let me tell you this. Peace is not a luxury for the lazy. It is the weapon of the wise. You must earn it. With discipline, with boundaries, with mastery of self. You must wake up and choose it every morning before the world gives you a reason to lose it. So breathe. Recenter. Return to the throne of your inner kingdom. And remember, you are the gatekeeper. Your reaction is your power. Your energy is your currency. And your focus is your future. They'll try to provoke you. Let them. They'll try to insult you. Let them. They'll try to make noise. Let them. Because you know where you're going. You know what you're building. You don't have time for battles that don't build you. You don't have space for opinions that don't serve you. You are building in silence, growing in discipline, evolving in purpose. And while others chase approval, you chase progress. They'll notice, not because you shouted, but because you moved quietly, precisely, unstoppably. And when your peace is so unshakable, when your mind is so clear, when your steps are so deliberate, they will ask, "How did you do it?" And your answer will be simple. I stopped giving my energy to what didn't matter. I guarded my mind like gold. I protected my peace like purpose. And I built from the inside out. Because that is where all power begins, not in the noise outside, but in the calm within.